Now let us study about magnitude of limiting friction. We already studied that limiting friction is the maximum value of static friction, and if external force applied on the body gets more than limiting friction or even equal to limiting friction, the body starts moving. So now we can write that the magnitude of limiting friction depends on two factors. First one is normal reaction between surfaces, and the second is roughness of surfaces. The second point is quite easy to understand. If the surfaces are rough, obviously there will be more friction because there will be more number of interlocks between the two surfaces. But also if the normal reaction between surfaces is more, that if two surfaces, if it is a heavy body, then it will apply more mg in downward direction, and as a reaction the ground will also apply more force in the upward direction. So because of this more normal reaction, there will be more interlocking, there will be even deeper interlocking between the two surfaces, and that will also increase the friction. So these two factors are useful in deciding the magnitude of limiting friction. So we can write here that if bodies apply more force on each other, the interlocking will be more, and hence friction will also be more. So we can say that the friction depends upon this limiting friction, we'll denote it as FL. Limiting friction depends upon the normal reaction. If we remove the proportionality sign, then we introduce a constant mu, where mu is the coefficient of static friction. So more accurately we can write it as mu s, and mu s is coefficient of static friction. It is a constant whose value depends upon these two conditions. So for static friction, we can highlight this. This is an important formula. Now let us understand with this as a solved example. Let us say we have a practical situation. Let us say we on ground there is a body of 5 kg and it is at rest. Now when it is at rest and it can have a tendency to move, then let us say the coefficient of static friction has the value of 0.3. So this is the value of coefficient of static friction between ground and the body. So if we draw a free body diagram of this situation, then there will be mg in the downward direction, so it will be 5g, and there is a normal reaction in the upward direction. So we can directly write that n equals to mg, so it will be equals to 5 into 10, it will be equals to 50 Newton. Now if we calculate the limiting friction using this formula, then limiting friction, the value of limiting friction will be 0.3 into 50 Newton. This will come out to be 15 Newton. So that means the maximum value of static friction will be 15 Newton. So if we want to move this body, the force that has to be applied on this body have to be at least 15 Newton or more than 15 Newton. So let us say if we apply external force equals to 5 Newton. So what will happen? Here the force is less than limiting friction. So this means that the limiting static friction and external force become equal and the body will not move. Both of them will be equal to 5 Newton, and the result is that body will be at rest. It will not move. Suppose if we increase the force to 12 Newton, Still the external force is less than limiting friction. So therefore static friction will be equal to external force. Both will be equal to 12 Newton and the body is still at rest. Suppose we increase the force and it is equal to 14.99 Newton. Right? Even in this condition, the external force is less than limiting friction. So the static force will also increase and it will be equal to 4.99 Newton and the body will still be at rest. But if the external force becomes equal to 15 Newton, then in this case, now the external force is equal to limiting friction. Now the static friction will not be able to be equal because it is the maximum limit. So it will not be able to become equal to external force, and in this case the interlockings will break. We can say interlocking will break and static friction will become equal to 0 and the body will start moving. So there will be motion. Now because of these interlocks, now the body is in motion, so it will start sliding, and because the interlocking were broken in attempt to overcome static friction, so now when the body is sliding over ground, there will be less number of interlockings. We can write, now that the body is moving the interlocking will be less in number. Now since the interlocking is less in number, that means the friction will also be less. Now this friction, whatever friction is there now because of the remaining interlockings, this friction is called kinetic friction and we denote it with Fk. And since the interlocking has reduced its number, therefore friction is also reduced. That means we can say that the kinetic friction will be less than the limiting friction. Because the friction has reduced, the maximum when we overcame the static friction, when we overcame the limiting friction, the number of interlockings reduced. So now the friction is less. So kinetic friction is always less than the limiting friction. Now let us study about kinetic friction a little bit in detail. Now it acts when body is in motion. Now let us say that on ground the body is moving with a velocity v. So the ground will offer a force of kinetic friction on the body, so that body will experience kinetic friction in this direction. But because of the third law of Newton, the body will also apply same kinetic friction in the opposite direction on the ground. And here you should notice and you should be very careful that the two forces are existing because of third law of Newton. They are existing in pair. There is no force which can exist without pair. With no force can exist alone. Even when we are studying about static friction, we saw that the interlocking between the body and surface, they offered equal and opposite forces. So here also the kinetic friction applied by ground on the body is Fk, and in reaction the body will also apply same force on the ground in opposite direction. So that means here also the kinetic friction will depend upon the normal reaction, on this normal reaction, and if the normal reaction is increases, the kinetic friction will also increase, because if the bodies are heavy and there are more vertical forces between them, the interlocking will happen more and the kinetic friction will increase. So kinetic friction is directly proportional to normal reaction, and we can write again coefficient of friction. Now this time, since we are talking about kinetic friction, this is coefficient of kinetic friction. This will be coefficient of kinetic friction. Now, since we have already studied that kinetic friction is less than limiting friction, and kinetic friction is equal to mu kn and limiting friction is equal to mu sn, so this relation holds true. If we cancel normal reaction, then we get that the coefficient of kinetic friction is also less than the coefficient of static friction. So make sure that you understand these points of kinetic friction, static friction and limiting friction, and we will apply them in questions from the next video.